What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio shouting. Hey man, I got a friend to the show and an A-Town legend at the same time off in this thing. Nick Love, what's good with it, boss?
What's up, my guy?
Hey man, first of all, appreciate you sliding through here and kicking some flavor with a player today, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Hey, now 1RPM. I saw you just announced that you joined that team over there, Nick. So I mean, now they didn't got a vet over there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
You
actually.
see what I'm saying? Break down what's going on over there at RPM and what was it that made you go corporate again, sir?
So 1RPM is a music digital distribution company with marketing services. So we're a direct competitor of like Empire, Foundation, Create, companies like that. I got over there in April. My man Orlando McGee.
What up, Orlando?
Another Atlanta OG, music business OG.
Thanks.
Orlando reached out to me out the blue one day, man. I was minding my own business. I was actually out with a client, handling some other business, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I need you." And I'm like, "To do what?" He was like, "You want a job?" I'm like, "Not really." You know what I'm saying? Like, not really. I ain't worked for nobody in a long time.
Come on.
And he was like, "Man, nah, man, it's a marketing gig. I could really use you. We building this office up." And as he was explaining it to me, I was like, "Okay." It makes sense because I had gotten to a point in my career where I was like people start telling you that you can't get a job.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on, like I could go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'll compare it to like street fight. You know how you be knocking niggas out in your backyard.
Yeah, but you don't know karate.
Yeah. Somebody be like, man, you couldn't box though. Like, what you mean? You don't think I could like
come on,
get in the ring and like when it's structured and do it?
Exactly. The same damn thing.
Yeah, like all right, I got y'all. So when the opportunity presented itself, it was really just right time, bro. So I took advantage of it, and it's been off to the races since then.
Okay, what are y'all doing over there as far as digital, though, for those that don't understand? Because it's a whole new world.
Yeah, man, it's a whole new world for me, too.
Come on.
Digital distribution is, basically like making sure your music is up on the platforms, right?
Okay.
So Spotify, your titles, your Amazons, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But also getting into your YouTube, getting into the DSPs, it's that world now. The game is different.
Okay.
That's where the money's coming from. Your money's coming from your YouTube.
Yeah, the digital.
Your money is coming from your streaming.
Yeah.
It ain't, like the game I come from, I come from the fan a day platform where we go outside, we go to the club, we shake hands, kiss babies with the DJs,
that's right.
Do all of that. The game is way different now. So for me, it was learning all those different avenues of like, okay, cool. So instead of having to know the DJ at Magic City necessarily, now it's like I need to know the guy who runs Rap Caviar.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At Spotify. I need to know who's running the hip hop playlist over at Tidal. That became I got to make a whole new set of friends.
Oh my God.
And that's what these artists need to do as well, man. So I'm the guy to kind of be the intermediary between that. You know what I'm saying? Bridging the streets to the streams.
The playlist, man, is that the new mixtape?
Absolutely.
Break that down because
Absolutely.
my boy DJ Iceberg hit me with that. He was on it years ago. He's like, B, mixtapes over with. Playlist is where it's at.
For sure.
But I still didn't quite understand it because I look at all my shit on YouTube. I listen to my shit off YouTube too.
Yeah. No, I mean, you gotta think, man, like Iceberg is perfect for it because like I said, he came up in that era. He's a DJ. He knows. I told DJs years ago, I was like, hey man, like the minute, and I learned it like I said, maybe 2014, 15. I think it was like when Lil Uzi got popping.
Yeah.
And at that time I'm running Coalition DJs.
Yeah.
And I'm telling the guys like, hey man, the more artists that start to break that don't have to come through this club pipeline, the tougher it's gonna be to maintain clients or get new clients. Because you got to get people to believe in the model. And if they say, well, I don't have to do it that way, I can do it this way, ain't no problem. You just got to put yourself in position over there too. So I started saying, hey, the same thing. These mixtapes, put them online. Create a playlist. There should be every DJ should have a playlist. Every DJ should have a playlist, man. And I mean, there's value in growing that playlist and giving it the same attention that you used to give your brand of, like everybody didn't necessarily have a Gangsta Grills or the movement that Scream had and whatnot. So it's like, okay, but you can build it and the numbers are right there in front of somebody. So somebody can tell you, your playlist got 100 followers, 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers. The more you got, the more value you have and the more important you are to the labels, to the artists, to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's absolutely the new mixtape.
You just snapped with that and you gave these young DJs a whole new blueprint to follow in this thing.
But it ain't new though. I think it's just everybody resistant to change. You know what I'm saying? It's not
I'm
new.
with
Like I
you.
said, I told
I'm
you
with you
guys
on
this in
that.
2015.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing that the DJs have had to face is that even if they were aware of what the play was, you had to get the artists to come along too. So
Yeah.
the problem wasn't necessarily the younger artists. The problem is the older artists, right? So
Yeah.
if you were coming up in the era of the Jeezys, the Futures,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, that vibe, you still look at the world through that lens. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You still like, yo, I got to go to the club, make it rain, do the thing. But
Exactly.
I mean, how important do you think making it rain is in 2022? Like that ain't,
When we've been inside for the last 2 years.
hey, bro, and that was tough as hell.
Come
you know what I'm
on.
saying? Like, come on, bro. Nobody, and you saw club music really suffer during the pandemic because
That's real.
there was nobody in the club.
Facts.
So a lot of records didn't translate as well when you sitting in your couch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough.
Okay, when you went over there to 1 RPM and you started getting out of that game, how did that make you feel when you started to see what the hell is going on in this
Hey
new
man,
world?
day one I felt super like I felt old for a second. Like, oh shit, like this what?
Do I need to know code in this motherfucker?
Hey, no, for real. I was like, hold on. So what you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily a culture shock because again I was aware.
Yeah.
But when you get really deep into
When you
what
about
it
to get
is,
into the real deal.
yeah, and it's like, oh man, because you know what I'm saying. We got projects came out. Like I said, over there, our roster is completely like it's one of the dopest rosters to
Yeah, it's
me. And
crazy.
we got Yellow Wolf, we got Caskey, we got Lobby Boys, Jim Jones and Mano,
Yeah.
we got Goody Mob,
Yeah.
Cujo as a solo, CeeLo as a solo, we got Cuban Doll, we got Bobby Schmurder who we just put out. We got a nice roster of Dro is over there. Like we got a nice roster of artists. And some names that you may not be familiar with, but are like incredible. My girl BB out of LA, she's a songwriter and an artist. My man Busy Crook out of Miami. We got some dope artists. But you know me, I'm like, okay, cool. When you come into Atlanta, I'm
Yeah.
gonna move you around, introduce you to my man Beehive,
Yeah.
take you over here, take you over there, and the company is like, whoa. We need to take them here, and they need to go talk to the lady at TikTok, and they need to be cool with the lady at Facebook, and we need to put them, you know, in these different places. And I'm like, so when we go to the club, you know what I'm saying? Like, so what time we go to when we do the mixtape release party?
Yeah.
And they like, wait. Like, Nick, okay, we like where your head is, we
Yeah.
like your ambition, but if we gonna do those things, you gotta justify to us how that increases the streams. How does it increase YouTube views? And I was like, oh. And then when you start seeing it that way,
Yeah.
now everything takes a whole different shape now. Cause now when you like, hey, we just go, you're not just doing stuff to do stuff.
Yeah.
And in hip hop for a long time, we've always just done stuff to do stuff. Just cause
Staying
that's just the way
busy.
it was, right?
Yeah.
It was like, you gotta do a mixtape release party. Well, why? I mean, because you just got
got a
to.
mixtape.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Shit.
gotta do it. And it's like, okay, cool. You want to do a mixtape release party? All right, cool, Nick. So how's that gonna drive the YouTube views? I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, is it gonna be popping? We just gonna throw a popping ass party?
Exactly.
And they like, well, we probably not gonna do that.
Damn.
And then you start to see like, oh, okay, cool. And then once you start to see how they think, you start to figure out, all right, cool, this is the pieces of me that I can take in.
Yeah.
These are the new things that I'm going to adopt, and then I can kind of run off with both.
For an artist to be, because see, this is crazy in the same breath though, Nick, because with you being one of the head of the coalition, which was a major, still is a record-breaking
for sure.
entity in the city and in the South, and then working with Jeezy as well, having to take all of those tools and say, okay, that's analog.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to go digital with this stuff. What is it that it takes for an artist to be successful in this digital realm that it might not have took back then, man?
Patience. Patience and tunnel vision. I think that the downside to having everything be so digital is that you got all these numbers in front of you. Everybody's throwing numbers at you. And so if you start focusing on the numbers, you get away from perhaps a plan that you may have had going in, right? And you know, we in a era and a time and age where people want to see instant, you know, or at least quick results. So when you get online and your picture doesn't get enough likes, or your post don't get enough views, engagement and all, your YouTube video don't do 1 million views in a day, people get discouraged, and then you start seeing people try to figure out the cheat codes. Like, well, I'm gonna just buy this, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm spend over here, spend over there, and it's like, yeah, but this is the part of the game where when you come from the quote unquote analog way, it was patience, right? We got
Exactly.
out here in the mud and we said,
Organic.
all right, we're gonna organically grow.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the barber shops.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the clubs. We're gonna go here, there, and everywhere and make literally make a fan a day.
Yeah.
That was
Ooh.
always the goal. Nobody wants to make a fan a day
I've been
in
there.
2022. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody's like a one fan a day. Psh, I need 1,500 fans
Come
a day,
on.
and I need them ASAP. And
The
I
fans are
think,
compound.
and I think you know what I'm saying. And it's like I think that served me well being from that age of before, being in the age now, and kind of being young enough to understand the new way, old enough to fully have grasped the old way, and now I'm here. But it took Jeezy, it took Coalition DJs, it took all those years of grinding and interning, and to get here.
Exactly.
Yeah.